Hi, I'm Tom Lydon with ETF Trends here in Washington, D.C. at the Charles Schwab Institutional Conference. Here with Simeon Hyman, Global Investment Strategist at ProShares. Great seeing you, Simeon.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. And as we're wrapping up 2018, getting into the holiday shopping season, what are some things advisors need to be thinking about?
Well, you know, Tom, we're looking at the retail space, and this is about as good as it's going to get from a macro perspective. Low unemployment, the tax cuts, consumer confidence sky high, and the numbers are okay, but they're not exactly the same when you split it between the online retail world and the brick and mortar world.
Yeah, online is just going parabolic. What's going on with brick and mortar?
You know, if you look at the legacy players, certainly some of them aren't adapting at all. We see bankruptcies all the time, as you know.
Yeah.
But even the retail legacy players that are getting some quote-unquote omni-channel successes, getting some sales online, they're still seeing margin declines, and they're doing better than going bankrupt, but not necessarily that great.
Great. So you looked at this market in a big way. You've analyzed it. You've actually created indexes. Walk through some of the choices that you provided advisors.
You know, what we found was that there was no way to split up the online world from the brick and mortar world. The legacy approaches to retail had it all in one sort of bucket. And at this stage of the game, it's important to break it apart. So we started with the right yardsticks at ProShares. We created a ProShares online retail index, and then we created the Selective ProShares brick and mortar retail store index so we could measure it right.
Yeah.
And then once we measured it right, then we put the ETFs together, ticker ONLN to track the online retailers, ticker EMTY, that's our clever empty ticker, to be short to brick and mortar players. And just to complete the suite, ticker CLIX, clicks, another clever one, which is long online and short to brick and mortar.
So within that last index you talked about, you are long online stocks and actually short brick and mortar.
That's
within
exactly right.
One index.
Exactly right.
Can you talk about that in a little bit more detail? Like what percent is online, what percent is brick and mortar, and what are some of the companies that we would know about that might be in those baskets?
Yeah, so the long short is 100 cents long and 50 cents short the brick and mortar players.
Okay.
And the way we constructed this was just with a little bit of cleverness. So the long side is global and modified market cap weighted, because in the online space it's a global phenomenon, and also it's kind of winner take all. Obviously scale matters, and Amazon and Alibaba are taking a lot of the business. On the short side, you know, we're overstored in the US, so the brick and mortar index is a US index, and it's also equally weighted, just in case one of them happens to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, understand. Excellent. Well, great strategy, especially this time of year, Simeon. As always, great talking with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.